All right. So, any closing arguments? Any closing statements? Any of you guys think you can change the world? Go.
Be yourself and find somebody that loves you for you.
Perfect.
Don't change for nobody.
Great.
Unless you
Ditto
have
to those
bad
guys.
feet. If you have bad feet, get a pedicure. Right?
Get a pedicure. Yes, yes.
Okay, the feet
Or
have
Kane
nice
won't even
eyes.
look your way.
Sandal season is upon us.
Right. Get working now. All right.
Subconsciously, that may be my issue with it as well. So, if I'm getting naked in the room, I need to know that I have the hottest body in the room. So,
right, I gotta know that you looking at me, hey,
right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, Kane, we kind of know what you're into, and if people don't know, it's the feet. But why there's the scientists have come up with an idea that there's certain like curvatures that we like, and that particular person who likes feet, it activates a particular part of the brain that's near the sexual thing. Why is that a turn on for you? Is it you think it's in your head, or you just actually like dirty ass feet?
Dirty ass feet.
Oh, he's gonna correct you right there because he's like, wait, dirty? No, hold on.
No, I'm not too big on dirt or smell. Like I like a nice, clean, a non-smelly pair of feet. And then for me, I kind of delved into it a little bit when we first initially started talking about our turn-ons. I had an experience, when I was really young, where a teacher let us read. Like had it was like quiet time. You got to do whatever you wanted. You could read, you could write, draw, whatever you wanted, and you could do it wherever you wanted. There was like bean bags and stuff set all over the place. The coolest place for me was underneath the desk. And so the way that the desks were grouped together, we were kind of facing each other. And I sat across from this one girl who, when I went underneath the desk to read, she started like not kicking me in the face, but just kind of like tapping me on the cheek with her feet. And so I didn't realize it at the time, but I mean, being like so young, I didn't recognize what arousal was, but I was becoming aroused. And
Right.
so it was just kind of one of those adult feelings that I didn't fully understand at the time. And then from there, it would just kind of became like, oh, who else will, like kind of tap me on the face when I'm, underneath the desk. And then I realized that, it was becoming a fetish. And then I was really attracted to attractive feet. But that's not the first thing I noticed. It's the second thing. First thing, you got to have a nice pair of eyes. Then you have to have nice feet. And then, like when we start talking, I'll start noticing things like your smile and personality. But as far as like just first physical attraction, yeah, you have to have a stunning set of eyes, and which it's not hard to do. So, I mean, if there's some depth to your eyes, if you look like you have some substance to you, then absolutely you'll pass that test right off the bat. And then if I like look down and like your toes are like this over your shoe, then I'm like, hey, well, it was good to meet you. It was it's nice. We'll catch you later.
He's literally
I'll
the
let
dude
I'll
from.
let you get back
Have
to
you
your
ever seen the
person.
movie Boomerang? Have you ever seen the movie Boomerang? He's literally Marcus from fucking Boomerang, where he pulls back the sheets and was like, look, there was hammer time on her toes. Like, I just couldn't. It was
Yeah.
I should have known because she was bumpy, but I thought it was a little old or something. Then I get her in the bed and pull back the sheets. Yeah, that's it. Yep,
See,
that's
and
that
I'll
one.
notice that
I
before
just
I
stay
even take
safe.
a woman to bed. Like we're not going home unless you have some nice feet. So
So, okay, Kane, when you're taking a person to bed, you do what turns them on, or do you do what you think turns them on?
Ooh.
All right. So I have to say that this is something that I've always really like thought of. It's always something that plagued in the back of my mind is if is what I'm doing and the reaction that the person giving Is it genuine because they're liking it, or are they liking it because they think I like it? And so then you just kind of get into like this not a downward spiral, but like this,
Loop.
revolving door of, do you like that? Ooh, yeah. Are you saying that because you think that's what I want to hear, or do you actually like that? Because I'm of the mind where I want you to like it because you enjoy it, not because you think I do. And so the more oohs and ahs, the better a job I think I'm doing. And so at the end of it, when it's just like, well, it just didn't, satisfy me the way I want it to be. Like, well, I was trying to figure out how you wanted that. Like, you should have communicated that a little bit more effectively. You should have said no one goddamn time.
Okay, so to hear from another guy then, Knight, what about you? How do you turn on your partner?
Contrary to popular belief, I am a pleaser. All right.
I don't believe that.
I like to focus on what the other person. In fact, so much so it's a detriment to myself. Like, for example, somebody will ask me, it's like, "What do you like?" Like, well, I like what you like. Which is it's an annoying loop because they're like, "No, but what do you like?" I like
what you
so
like.
when it, they'll ask like, "Well, do you
Whatever
like
you
if
like.
I, touch you here?" I'm like, "No, but if you like it, I'll like it." So I'm a very annoying partner. If you ask those questions, so it's best to just enjoy yourself. Right? Just be honest.
I can enjoy.
Yeah, don't
So,
start asking.
Okay, we need to hear from a lady now. We need to.
Real quick though, basically, what Knight is saying, ladies, is if you're a pillow princess, call Mr. Knight Wagner.
Why? So they can
He's
lay
your
down
guy.
next to each other?
As long as he gets to please you all night long, we're good.
Here's
Could
the
you
line.
imagine some chick just, and then Knight next to her? Is it in?
Yeah, you're frozen too. That's too funny.
Frozen.
Oh, damn it.
There's the face. Oh well, that's what you get. That's what you get.
Right?
Karma.
Terrible pause.
That was a horrible pause.
Okay, so Miss Aurora, we need to hear from a lady. Are you doing what turns them on or what you think turns them on?
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
It really honestly depends. Okay, so like if I'm with a partner that I'm with for a long time, this is a long haul, it's a relationship, we have communication and blah, 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 blah. All that crap. Okay, I'm a pleaser. I'm somebody that wants to, do what you like, And honestly, that's kind of a dom anyways. But there are some scenarios where I definitely am, I can be very selfish. And it's like, oh, well, I got mine. I'm sorry, baby. You didn't get your shoes on and go home. Yep, there's the same door you came in. It's the same door you need to walk out of. No, it was fun. You didn't get done? Well, there was a time limit with this. I had to get myself off. I just needed you for a couple minutes. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so, there's definitely some times that it depends. And then, like, if I'm in a play scene, we've negotiated, so we're doing what I like.
Seeing a trend
Fair
here.
enough.
Right?
Seeing a pattern.
But like if I'm with somebody and I'm like in love and I'm in this relationship, it's like, what do I need to do? And the more that person is moaning, going off, that for me is like my turn on. Does that make sense? Like, oh, I'm doing a good job. I'm getting recognition with this. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you love this? Okay, I'll keep doing this. So
Yep.
I don't know.
I'm the same way when it comes to that. I'm the same way. I mean, I'm doing what I think turns them on. And then from their excitement, their pleasures and everything, then I'm all right. I'm like, all right, let's keep this going then. So I'm very much the same way in that aspect.
Yeah, most definitely.
Now, see,
so
like,
based on, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. You got a question?
like, as a guy, I know it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, you faked it. There's definitely been some situations where it was like, all right, this isn't enjoyable, but she seems into it, so I'll enjoy it, and hopefully it ends sometime soon. Like I've had chicks that I give the best BJs. Do you now?
Grapefruit.
No, they fucking do not.
No, they don't.
But, the enthusiasm is kind of a turn on. So it's like, all right, well, I'll find something to be satisfied with this. So like if you're doing your thing and I can see, the bottom of your feet, then I'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah, ooh, all right, So
Okay,
Oh,
so,
boy.
well, I mean, I guess this leads really well into my next little question because I just got a question. So, like, does what turns you on attract the right partner? Do you think, especially with what you just said there, Mr. K? So I'm gonna kick it to you first.
all right. So I
Like,
feel
based
like
on your turn-ons, you think it attracts the right partner?
okay, so I feel like as a guy, one of our biggest turn-ons that we don't discuss often enough is just basically attention. And so
Oh,
any girl
okay.
that's willing to give you the time of day is already kind of, blown your fucking mind. And so I know there's a lot of guys, and like the alpha male and all that other bullshit, where be like, oh well, I don't care, and like that seems to work for me, just standing there sullenly in the corner until some chick's like, you know, fawning over them. But for most guys, it's you saying hi is like, yeah, me, really? Oh well, hey. So I mean, you've already kind of broken that threshold. And so I think like it's just as far as getting any kind of attention, that's a basic level of attraction. So I mean, any partner can kind of meet that criteria. So I don't know if I would say that what turns me on or what I'm attracted to attracts the right partner, since just basic attention starting off. What's up?
I've got a question to add on to this though, because one of your fetishes or one of your turn-ons, your kinks, is feet, right? So what if the chick is not into having her feet touched, played with, or even looked at? Like, is that a deal breaker for you?
Absolutely.
So what?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's a deal breaker. So then you need somebody, I guess, that would at least like their feet touched and played with and want to play in that field.
Be willing to explore in it. I mean, that's honestly that's even a bigger turn on when I've never experienced that before, but I'm curious.
Okay.
Like, oh well, I'm gonna show you some shit. Like
Aroused question here. As someone who pays very close attention to that particular detail, could you recognize if you were in, party or something, and people had open toed, some people had sandals, some people had, shoes, would you be able to recognize somebody that maybe you think would be into it, or it's just kind of a crap throw?
Ooh, that's a great question.
That is a good question.
That is a great question.
It's not a foolproof method, and it's not can't patent it or anything. So, but in my experience, most women that will wear like an open toe shoe are somewhat open to that, kind of stimulation, because they are looking for some kind of attention. They are looking for them to be noticed, or they are accepting that as one piece or one part of the overall beauty of their figure. And so I feel like if you see if I see women that like are walking around in flip flops, they're already kind of accepting their feet being out there, which kind of means that, or for me at least, it's like, all right, so you're open to the idea of your feet being open, so maybe perhaps like you wouldn't be so dismissive to a massage, and from there, it's already in a sensual setting, you're kind of already in the mix. I wouldn't necessarily approach or look for somebody to engage in a foot fetish in if they're wearing something really nice and in a closed-toe shoe. All right.
So if someone has a toe ring, then you're all in and it's free game, and they're like, all right, I spot you.
Well, for a lot of things like foot tattoos, really nice pedicures, toenail polish that isn't chipped or anything, I mean, you're looking for that to be admired, and you're looking for that to be a beautiful aspect of yourself. So yeah, I mean, if you're putting them on display, then I feel like that's free game. It's kind of like if they were insecure about them and they're hiding them, then yeah, that's definitely going to be something that they're not welcome to. I knew one chick, and she wasn't very. It wasn't even a conversation like a sensual conversation or anything. It just came out in casual conversation where I don't like feet, and she thought feet were gross. And so she was mildly attractive. And so, but from that point forward, it was like, oh, well, that is something that you would never be open to, or something that you would always have like a negative stigma around. Just like, oh, if I don't like feet,
right,
I'm not going to like anybody doing anything with my feet. So if you're admiring them, I'm going to wonder what the hell's wrong with you, which already puts me in a hole and a deficit. So I'm not going to pursue that.
Right.
Yo, I'm 100% with that. You guys may not be able to tell, but for a dude, my feet aren't bad. They're not, I've seen some bad dude feet. and I don't like my touch.
So it's just your hands that need lotion. Your feet are fine.
No, my feet are just as, as I said, I've been doing man work, but it's a trade-off. Like, I don't even like mine touch, so I definitely won't be like, if you're like, oh, I don't want my pinky toe sucked. I'm like,
Well, there's the question for you though, okay? Because I mean, you said that like you don't really have. I mean, you're one turn on. We get it, fruit trees. But I know there's got to be some other things there. I mean, you mentioned a couple things, but like, do you think that what turns you on would attract the right partner? Do you think that your turn-ons, you need that to attract the right partner?
my standards are not as high as one thinks.
Trust me, we don't think we have high standards.
if you're looking for somebody with with a intelligent conversation or someone with a good sense of humor, then they tend to gravitate towards you. So the type of like materialistic or shallow kind of people, I don't necessarily run into or get into intimate situations with.
Right.
So I couldn't tell you, for example, how it.
Well, it sounds like you're already using your turn-ons to attract what you need.
If you use the right bait when you go fishing, you get the right fish. So that's kind of the.
Right, so we're gonna hear from another woman on the panel here. Please tell me, do some of your turn-ons? Do you think they need to be there? You think that helps you attract a partner? You think you should be searching for those things when you're attracting a partner?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay.
So I had this boyfriend. So, like I said, I do tend to like a little bit of a rougher sex sometimes. So there is this. I like to have my hair pulled, and I had this one boyfriend. His definition of hair pulling was like barely pulling on like strands and everything.
Yeah, it's like,
guys, I have a head full of hair here. Grab it. And it's just like he was like pulling right here, and I'm like, all right, no, we're good, we're done.
Look at that gray one right here.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like pulling like little like this, and I'm like, what is that? No,
right, like that doesn't even feel good. Like I don't what?
No.
What? Goodness, if you guys watch season 1, it's like how Remy pulled hair in the hair video.
Good question. Aroused. Ladies, so both of you seem to enjoy a good tug, right?
Uh-huh.
What you're saying, for anybody watching and learning, give it a good tug or kind of ease into it?
No, you have to grab it from the base, from the root right here, not at the ends.
Not at the
end.
end.
Get up in there.
Yep.
And then pull.
There's actually more nerves right back here, and the back of your scalp can handle being pulled on more than any place else. These parts of your head are tender, so there's a nice little zone. It's like a diamond shape right back here. So your hand fits in it perfectly, and if you grab a hold and pull back with pressure, you're not pulling and trying to yank hair out. You're pulling back with pressure and controlling the head with it. That is a turn on.
So you don't grab it like a pure ring.
Pull the hair back to expose the neck, and then you're like,
Hold on, arousal. So you guys just perfectly demonstrated what a hair pull is. So I think I figured out why a lot of guys don't understand what women mean by hair pulling. And so it's because back in the day when kids used to be able to play and everything, it's like, oh, we pulled my hair. It was you grabbed the ponytail and pulled. And so for a lot of guys, we don't catch on to double entendres, dual meanings, or anything like that. So when you say pull your hair, we think, fucking kindergarten play.
We're back in kindergarten.
Grabbing a ponytail.
Well, we're as women, we're gonna need y'all to grow up and catch up.
Grow up. Put your big boy pants on.
And grab from the base of the school.
The first time that somebody asked me to pull their hair, that's what I did too. It was like I grabbed the bottom and like kind of tugged down.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Pull hair. That's right.
And I was like, all right, that's strange. I never understood that. No, grab the back of my head, grab all of this shit back here, and just squeeze. I wish I'd have known that. I'd be in a much different place now. Well, damn it.
Now you know on SafeWord how to properly.
You have learned how to pull hair on SafeWord.
So now that you know, like, kind of, what you want, and what you want is important, right? So, Kane, how do you get it?
Ooh. Great question.
I don't know. Is it beating a dead horse to say communication?
Oh.
Yes, it
I was
is.
like,
Next.
I can't keep saying it. I am the hashtag queen on communication. I say communication probably every single gosh darn live show.
and really-
Communication.
Really, it really comes down to that. I mean, over and over again, you have to communicate what you like. You can't expect somebody to like read your mind. But I mean, if you like your hair, if you like to pull hair, don't go after bald chicks. If you, like I said, for me, I like feet. So if, I'm not gonna go talk to a chick who's wearing tennies in her sundress, out at the wherever. It's like, oh, you might not be up for it or whatever. I'm gonna look for the open-toed shoe girl. Um, I really just think it comes down to not just attract. You have to kind of vary your definition of what the right person is or the right individual, because I mean, you never know who you're going to end up talking to and hitting it off with, and from that point forward, you could have your eye on someone in particular because you kind of like what they're offering, and then find out that they're a pillow princess or aren't up for all of your kinks, even when you thought, oh shit, this person looked like the one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add to that because we always say communication, but one of the things that I think that really needs to happen when you're trying to, attract what you want is you have to know what you want. And that is forever changing. You have to sit down with yourself because who knows, you could have a new kink or something new that interests you, or, hey, I didn't like dating the so serious guy that was all about making money. I need somebody that maybe can make me laugh. Things change up. So I think the first place that you need to start with is here and figure out what it is that you actually want, before you can, because then if you don't know what you want, you're just kind of floating, nilly-willy out there, just like, okay, I'll date you too. Okay, well, and that's part of the game too, dating to figure out what you like. But I mean, you have to know what you want in order to put that out there to attract it. It's like fishing. Like if you ain't got the right bait, you don't catch the wrong thing out the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Be stuck with a flounder with two eyes on the side. Just know.
I just remembered something that I can't wait to share on the Patreon with you guys that goes directly in line with what we're talking about right now. Right when Laura said, what you want is always changing, I was like, oh yeah, that reminds me of something.
Interesting.
I wonder why you're laughing through that. I'm like, dang, that's as bad as me being freaking happy that some guy died after he lost his penis. Like, do what, guy?
So I do have one more question for you that I want to add, Aurora. You being a very strong and dominant woman, do you find it difficult to get what you want whenever you're kind of challenged with another strong
yes
partner?
Yes. Yep. 110%. Yes. It takes a lot of communication, especially when you're dealing with somebody else that is a dom or has dom tendencies. Maybe they haven't played in the field, but they're just naturally dominant. And I don't like when I'm actually in a relationship, I don't like going for somebody that I would take on as a client, like a sub. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone like that. I actually do like being with somebody that has a little bit more of those dominant tendencies, especially with a man, because it's a little bit of a, there's a little give and take even, there's a little, it keeps things interesting. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot more communication that goes into it because sometimes, especially when you're dealing with somebody that really knows themselves, it's like, well, I don't want to do that. Well, that's what I'm into. Well, I don't, but could we cut out? And it's always a thing at the table. It's a negotiation process. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, on the flip side of that, Night, since you're kind of, I'll just go with the flow. Whatever you like is what I like. How do you get what you want though? Because there's some things that you want besides, big breasts.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get what you want?
Well, like we kind of mentioned a little bit with Kane, you kind of look for the signs a little bit. It's not an exact science, and in fact, sometimes it's the exact opposite. For example, if you're on the prowl and you find someone who's wearing a nice turtleneck, it's completely black, so you can't see any contours. Long skirt down to the ankles covered. You're probably gonna say, you know what, pass. But very often that is all disguise, and you get back for tea and find out there's a secret drawer that's full of the stuff that you guys have on this program, and blowing your mind. So that you can never really tell, but it's a numbers game. So you kind of go, we're like, all right, chances are if things are hanging out, probably. Which
Right.
means
Yeah.
when you yourself are going out, what are you trying to sell? Are you zipper open, hanging out, hot dogs at the gas station?
Talk what the heck?
So it's an interesting question. Is it better to find something that matches what you are looking for, or maybe you have a better chance of finding something that's completely the opposite, because that kind of conflict or that kind of contrast really makes things interesting. So which one is better?
See, and you just dabble in both of them to figure it out. That's you still figuring it out. Got it.
I'm like,
You're like, whoever will
you
give
never
me a
know.
time and will put their boobies in my face.
But I find, to be honest, a lot of the excitement comes from attracting someone who is opposite. So if I say, for example, I like biggins, and there's somebody who is the exact opposite of that, that's also interesting. That's how I've learned that I like that, because
Okay.
when I was younger, I was like, oh, the bigger the better. But then I was like, mosquito bites aren't bad either. You can have your fun in that. So which one is the better option? Opposites attract, or attracting alike?
Right.
I think opposites, just because I think it's more there's more conflict there too. You're trying to discover each other too. So the opposites attracting opposites can be exciting. However, I tend to like more likes attract likes, just because I know he's gonna like what I'm into as well. And it can just be kind of beneficial for both of us, pleasure for both of us. So
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
I can
mean,
see that.
really, I got to use Night as an example. So I'm sorry to throw you under the bus like this. But you are very much. I mean, it's across a lot of some of the things that we've talked about, things that you've just brought up in lives, meetings, just talking about things. You're very, very trying to say this without it sounding too negative, because that's not at all how I mean it. But you're very much like into very old eclectic and like medieval time period pieces. You're very into like LARPing, you've said, the cosplaying, role playing, things of that nature.
Ren fair.
Yeah, like Renaissance fair. So I think like it really goes into saying, how do you find somebody who's into the same thing as you while still maintaining, you like, all right, so do the opposites attract on every aspect, or does like attract like? How would you find somebody? I mean, if she had like a bodacious body, right, just hourglass figure, everything you could want in a woman, just everything you wanted in a woman, but she's like, I think that kind of stuff is stupid.
Yeah, I closed that part of the closet, which is unfair. But
See it, baby.
It's a valid point, because I mean, like nerd culture, but I don't like nerds. I don't like to hang out with them. I don't like to talk to them. I don't like because they're annoying. Really, they get all excited about. Oh, did you see the Star Wars? Like, no, I don't. I like Star Wars, but I don't want to talk about it. Let's get down. Let's boogie.
He just wants to dress like it.
Yeah, exactly.
The Princess Leia.
Exactly. I don't want to. Gee whiz, I want to look through your picture book. Come on.
I don't want to know your fan theories or read your fan.
Yeah, I don't know for that.
That George Lucas has rejected several times.
You're not role playing in Ren Fair gear.
Well, but I'm just saying, I'm not hanging out for butterbeer afterwards.
All right,
that wasn't a no.
All right, so I mean, and Knight kind of already touched on it a little bit. So perfect segue, brother. I appreciate it. Do you feel like you have to change your personality when you meet somebody that you are attracted to or that you are trying to attract? I mean, do you find that you alter your personality, and should you?
And should you?
Yes, 100% all times. Now,
oh my God, explain this. Please explain this.
It's unfortunate that it has to happen, and it happens in varying degrees. Someone like me, I have to change a heck of a lot, because it's a lot to handle right off the front. It's just, So I got a creeping idea. I say I'm one of those people. It has to grow on you like a fungus. I'm not a one night blow your mind kind of dude. I'm like sneaking up like a COVID kind of thing.
Yeah,
After a while,
that's how him and I are friends. He grew on me like a fungus.
So Knight plays the long game.
Yep.
Good antibiotic ointment should clear that right up for you, Aurora.
Let's just put it like this. Hey, Mr. Knight, are you still living in a cave? Do all of your windows have to be closed and all the blinds have to be closed and sunlight is not allowed in your room or your space and you need to have it dark? You still living like that?
I wish you could see the window right now. It is.
So
nobody is looking at me.
Is that something you'd be willing to change for somebody?
Somebody comes over, it's like spring cleaning. I open up, I'm like, I'm a vampire. I'm like, oh, what is all this?
Okay, a little backstory. The reason why I'm saying this is because when he used to live in Arizona, I came out for a visit. And he's like, all right, I'll put your bags down right here, put your stuff right, it's cool. And I'm like, I'm tripping over shit. And I'm like, I can't see anything. Knight, dude, I can't. And I'm trying to like turn on lights. He's like, oh yeah, no, switches don't work. I'm like, switches don't work? I was like, so then I'm doing blessing. He's like, yeah. I was like, what is going on? What do you mean no? He's like, we can't let in the sunlight. I was like, it's going to be a dark freaking weekend.
Don't. The sunlight's bad. I can see in the dark. I can see in the dark. I kid you not. I can see in the dark.
This is why he says he has a lot to change. He's gonna be in a relationship.
Yes. Callista, do you find that you change your personality at all to vibe better with a potential partner?
I have a very strong personality in my real life, so you need to either accept that or just keep on walking. I found that maybe when I was younger, I used to maybe conform to the guy I was dating or whatever. But now, no, I'm at that age where I'm just, you need to accept me for me. Otherwise, just go kick rocks, suck on a lemon, go do you. So, yeah, no, I'm not changing.
Aurora.
Yeah, well, let's see. No, I'm not changing me as far as who I am. Now, if a certain way that I'm speaking, a tone that I'm using, if, a way that I say things comes off a certain way or it irritates my partner or, hey, I don't really like it when you take this tone. Even if I don't think it's a tone, I work really hard to change those things. I work really hard to, make it go a little bit more smoothly because there's things that people need on both ends to be able to be heard, that kind of thing. But as far as me, no, I might get quiet for a little bit, but once I've gotten quiet enough, because I'm somebody who will sit and watch, but once I've gotten quiet enough, right, and you keep pushing, the crazy comes out. So I can docile it, but I can't change me completely. You know what I'm saying? I'm 40. I've been on this earth way too long to be trying to change who I am for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Just that is exhausting. I can admit, like Callista said, I've done it in the past, and it's very exhausting. You can't keep it up. It's not who you are, and you're doing it for what? Then you obviously don't belong with that person.
Yeah, but then you lose yourself and everything too, and it's just And
it's a bitch to find yourself again afterwards, man. Trying to figure out was that my like or his like?
Rediscover yourself.
When I say change, I'm speaking more like hide.
Like what?
You guys are changing. Yeah, I actually don't change at all.
No.
I'm, like lights have been off for 30 plus years. So
he's still talking about the lights. He's like, my lights are still off. All right. Okay, so I'm going to ask that same question to you though, because you didn't answer that, Kane. I want to know: do you change, and do you think that it's something that you should do in a relationship?
I never think that you should have to change to better attract a partner. I think that the overall happiest that you can be is being your most truest form of yourself. And I think that's where a lot of people get mixed up or confused. At least that's where I did, was I never wanted to be anybody more than me. But I also didn't want anything more than to be with a particular person. And when they made reference to some parts of my personality, or even just things that I hadn't expressed to them yet, but they kind of already shut it down, it was like, oh, all right, well then I just won't talk about those things, or I won't say that I like that, or I won't say that that's one of my hobbies. Because I have multiple hobbies, I'll discuss some of the other ones. And I noticed that I did that a lot. And then, like I said, after um, losing my wife was really freeing, because then I just stopped giving a shit about whatever anybody else's perspective or thoughts on me were. I started worrying about myself uh, more. I stopped caring about the opinions of others as much. And that shit is liberating as hell. So I can't say that I would ever go back to being somebody different to try and appease somebody else, because that's not going to be me for them either. And
Yeah,
so
100%. Like if some girl lady was like, video games are stupid, you think I would stop playing Hogwarts Legacy? Sorry, not happening.
Nope. Yep. Still playing Hogwarts. Team Ravenclaw.
All right. So that's all that we had for you guys tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We went a little bit over time here, but just bringing you guys more content, more stuff for you guys to love, like, and remember, subscribe. All right. So any closing arguments, any closing statements, any of you guys think you can change the world? Go.
Be yourself and find somebody that loves you for you.
Perfect.
Don't change for nobody.
Great.
Unless you have
those
bad
guys.
feet. You have bad feet, get a pedicure. Right?
Get a pedicure. Yes. Or Kane won't even look your way.
Sandal season is upon us.
Right. Get working now. All right. That's it for SafeWord tonight, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. We enjoy bringing it to you guys. Make sure you tune in every single week where we bring you guys new content, new videos, and of course, our amazing personalities for you guys to enjoy. Have fun. Have a fun and safe weekend. Remember your safe word. And remember, don't change for anybody. All right, everybody. Have a good one.